Hi, I'm Rachel from Here I Am Simi 360. When I was about 8, we moved from one place, and at that place that we moved from, there were a few friends that I had, and I always enjoyed seeing them every week. But when we moved to this new location, there weren't any other girls my age. There weren't any girls at my church, and of course I was in homeschool, so there weren't any other girls there. And so I prayed and prayed, and I was like, Lord, can you please send me another girl my age that I can be friends with? And I read in the Bible how Jesus had disciples, and I went to other churches and saw lots of girls, and they all had friends. And I'm like, Lord, I thought it was okay to have friends. Like, why don't I have any friends here? And so I prayed and prayed. And then we moved, and guess what? There still weren't any girls my age there. And I'm like, what? But then when I was about 12, I realized God is working in my life, even when it doesn't make sense to me. Even when everything else seems to be saying that it should be the opposite way. But God can see the big picture. He can see what will happen 10 years, 20 years down the road, and He can realize what will be the best, and then He wants to give that to me. His ways are ultimately higher than mine. Isaiah 55, verses 8 and 9 says, For my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are my ways your ways, says the Lord. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. God wanted to work out something that I couldn't even understand, because He wanted the best for me. And He knew that at that point in my life, the best thing wouldn't be to have friends. Jeremiah 29:11 says, For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, says the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. Here I am now, and it's been years later, and there's still no other girls at my church that are my age. And even though I don't know the whole reason, I can trust God because of what He has said in the Word and because what He has done for me in the past. Romans 8:28 says, And we know that all things work together for good, to those who love God, to those who are called according to His purpose. Looking back, I can see that during that time that I didn't have any other friends, I was able to make a close relationship with Jesus, the friend that will stick closer than anyone else. Proverbs 18:24 says, A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And during that time, I found that yes, friends are good, but the best friend that I'll ever be able to find is Jesus. And it's Him who will really count if I have a friendship with Him or not. Maybe you're in a situation like this. Maybe you don't have any really close friends, and you don't understand why you don't have friends. Why is God allowing this? Or maybe you applied for a job and you thought it would be really good, but then you didn't get it. The situation is different for each of us, but one thing is certain for each one of us. We need to remember that Jesus is the best friend we'll ever have, and that He's working out our life in the exact way that He knows would be best. He can see years down the road. He can see 10 or 20 years down the road. And we can't. We need to trust that He knows. And we may not know on this side of heaven, but He is faithful because of what He has done in our lives and in the lives of all the people in the Bible. I'm Rachel, and thank you for joining me again at Here I Am Simi 360. And remember, God holds your future, and He has a plan for you, even when it doesn't make sense to you.